Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, depending from where you're watching us from. This is Oscar, your host. These are our faces, and with me tonight is none other than the Italian captain, Lorenzo. Lorenzo, how are you doing? Hey, I think you are muted, maybe, Lorenzo?
Sorry. Hello everyone. Good evening. Thank you, Oscar, for inviting me to commentate this amazing match today, Germany against Hungary. And I see that the first race is already starting, and all the boats are already displayed on the racing field, on the starting line. Sorry. And we have already a false departure from both German's player and a clean start from Das boat, and the release is even if it starts with a penalty.
That is a weird start for this first race. Indeed, Hungary versus Germany, last match in the group stages. This is going to decide who is third, who is fourth in Group A, and who will race against Japan and who will race against France. So, kind of excited to see this matchup. I personally have no idea what the outcome will be. I think both teams can be on a fairly even level.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it will going to be a really tight match because I think that both teams are on a high level, same level. So I think that there will be some ups and downs on both teams. So it's going to be quite interesting. So I think we are going to expect some good races today, and we are here to comment and see what's happened in this match.
Exactly, and so far it's going to be a 1-2 position for the Hungarians. Das Boot over here tacking over the ley line and over Van Zeitig, the German, and with him is going to be Release Ed. Currently first spot, but is likely going to lose it to Das Boots. That's fine because they're both on the same team. And first mark rounding for the Hungarians.
Yeah, I see that they are pretty clear from the other Germans. I mean, just couple 30 meters of advantage from second and third, but this boat has a really light coverage. Wind shadow is very doesn't cover that much, so it's going to be pretty hard to recover this short distance. I think that it will be a good move to to play on the wind pattern during this downwind and maybe recover, making some speed. Maybe I see that there is a left shift coming down on the left part of the racing field, but none of the German is trying to escape or gaining some terrain with it. They're both trying to follow Release Ede. I mean, it's good. It's a good strategy, but there are also. I mean, it depends what you want to do. If to play and do team race or go fast and maybe let your teammate to overcome the other player.
Yeah, well, in a 2v2, usually the losing position is having that fourth place. So for the Germans, if Das Boot is too far for them to catch up, I think that's what they're trying to do. Just make sure that Release Ed is behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the strategy to go to. But I'd be interesting in knowing if you were the Germans right now with the Italian team, what was your strategy going to be?
You know what is Van Zeitig doing is a really good move because if you see is nearer the wind path, so it will be going faster than the Hungarian, and it will be sure to run the mark earlier. And if you know what I mean.
Yep.
And same for Ger7. If Ger7 keeps covering Release Ede, he might have a chance to enter the trim length and penalize the Hungarian. But seems that Van Zeidig gets penalized.
Exactly. Van Zijtig taking the penalty, and Das Boot was waiting for a mark trap as well. The Hungarians are still in front at the end of this downwind leg. It's an N-shaped course, so we're going to have this half upwind leg. So it's going to be hard for the Germans now to catch up, always a lot harder to overtake on an upwind than on a downwind.
It's kind of tricky this upwind. We have right shift coming on the right and left shift on the left, so It depends on what the team members want to do actually, because maybe split is the best thing, but also marking the other players is the best thing to do. In my opinion, Germans don't have much to do in this situation, because it's just one player of the Hungarian have to keep for himself a player of the German team, and it's quite over the match. So
Yeah, the
maybe
Germans tried to split, and I think that was a good decision, hoping maybe for a shift for one of them to catch up on one of the Hungarians. That could have maybe been the case with Van Zijtig and release Ed, but currently I think it's going to be a lot harder for them to catch up. Never say never, because we've seen some weird tricks from time to time. So until they cross the finish line, it's not over. But it does look like a Hungarian win for this first race.
Yeah, I agree. Mostly it's even if they catch up, they also have to penalize, and the Germans talking about they have to penalize and also make GR7 recover all the space. But I think that the second Hungarian is crossing the finish line in first and second position. So well done to Hungarians for this first match.
Yep, first round goes to Hungary, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 for the German, row 3 and do not finish for the Germans. Alberto, you're not commentating tonight, so you can't jinx. What's the outcome of tonight's matchup?
He's going to jinx anyway, even if in the message.
And thank you for the prime, Alberto. Go, 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 go. 42 seconds to go before the start. With the F50, you want to start far from the start line. You want to hit it at maximum velocity. I repeat that every time, but it is true. And who should we follow for the start procedure? Maybe let's follow some Peterson.
Yeah, I would follow Peterson also, because we know that not here but on another eSailing game is a master of foiling boats. So it's up to him this match, if I'm not wrong, if I would say for the Hungarians.
So far he's struggling with some penalties, taking 2 penalties from some Germans, and it's a great start by ESG777 and a Paraticus. GR7 took a bit too close to the committee boat and touched the mark, but both of his teammates, Paraticus and ESG777, Peter Gieman, took a lot of lead from the other boats. Peterson shoots Peter over here, followed by TTH, Birag, and releases it. I see some friendly fire between the 2 Hungarians. Are 160 meters behind. 140.
Yes.
A good start from the Germans. Definitely going to be easier for them for the rest of the race. They just need to race cleanly, find the correct puffs, don't do anything that can be avoidable. And it's in control.
Yeah. I was looking for Peterson that maybe on the next cross with Privaticus is going to cut, maybe not in front, but really near, because there is a left shift coming down, and when he goes on the right part of the racing field, he will be on time to take a right shift probably. In fact, we see that there is also release Ede covering the other side of the racing field, and so, in my opinion, there is still a chance for Hungarians to catch up this match. It's not
Do you
over.
think Hun can come back?
Sorry?
Alberto is asking, do you think Hungary can come back? I think it's possible. It's definitely going to be harder. And, well, this race is going to show us if the Germans are able to maintain their lead once they get it from the start. And if the Hungarians are capable of trying to catch up on the F50. We've seen Paraticus over here attacking before the boundaries and before the ley line, so a bit early. That was probably a tactical choice from her to not after be in ESG's wind shadow. But that means that release Ed is going to be able to try to do it down, unfortunately a bit too soon, taking penalty 16 and being slowed down for 10 seconds. That's allowed GR7 to come back into the mix. But Shoots Peter is going to try to do the same thing, putting the penalty on GR7, release Ed taking the lead again for 3rd place.
You know, with Rule 16 being active is very risky doing this type of moves. The dial down that release Ede just did to Piraticus, because you don't actually know if you're going to take it. But in my opinion, it would have been better if you kept a more conservative position. Maybe attack on the face would have been sufficient, and maybe play and try to penalize Piraticus during the downwind. In my opinion, it's a lot easier than in the downwind, in the upwind, because in the upwind you have to rise the wind. In the downwind, it's more easier to recover maybe a couple of meters, but in the upwind, no.
Well, while we were explaining that, Jur 7 puts a penalty on release Ed, and the Germans are suddenly in a 1-2-3 position. Germany answering straight back to Hungary. So far, it's looking like a 1-all at the end of this race.
Yeah, after the first race, we see that the Germans got their revenge.
Exactly.
With,
They did a great start, and then
Yes.
so far managing the race beautifully. So they just need to continue doing that until the end. It's going to be the last upwind and half a downwind into the reaching finish.
Sorry?
I was saying it's going to be they just need to keep it for the rest of the race, and well, it looks easy for them now. The Hungarians are far behind.
Yeah.
60, 70 meters between release Ed and Jur 7.
Even if they catch up one the player, they need the first or the first and the second, or the first or the first and the third to win this match. So it's going to be kind of difficult, also because Jur 7 may stop and make them lose some other terrain to the first and second of the Germans. So
yeah, but he doesn't even bother doing that. They have sufficiently, and they have a sufficient lead to not be able to do that. And Alberto Carrara saying 1 run, ready for next race. I think we might see a lot of back and forth in each round. We've seen Hungary taking the lead in the first race, now Germany dominating this race. And we'll see what happens in the next one. But a 1-2-3 confirmed for the Germans, with 4, 5, 6 for the Hungarians.
yeah, actually, definitely. We see a
there we have it.
win for Germany, in my opinion. But if the Hungarians win this race, I give them my compliments.
Yeah, well, as you just mentioned, we do have a lot of experience on the German side. As you said, with Roxy Joni, who's been a grand finalist in the eSailing World Championship, also captain of the German team at some point. Same for Luxen, captain of the German team at some point as well. Tom Meister, we've seen him several times in ESG 777, as you mentioned, was here since forever. On the Hungarian side, well, Kispe is the captain, and then we've seen Release Ed, Release Door, and Shunya, I'm sorry for the mispronunciation, in their previous rounds. We'll see how they fare. 10 seconds to go before the start procedure. My vote to Lorenzo as official technical expert of those events. Germany is going to win this third, like TNS says.
Okay, this was a really strange start because Germans had a lot of advantage in the start. They were all leeward of the the Hungarian players, so they had the chance to penalize them, giving the rule 11. But I saw that both Roxy Joni and Luxen had a false start or took a penalty some way, so they lost the disadvantage, and the both teams are equal at the moment. So race is open, and we have to see how in this upwind the dynamics evolve. We have also
taking a penalty from Luxen.
And Visidor almost touched the ESG 777 while tacking, so he risked a Rule 13 ESG 777.
Got to be careful with the timing of your attacks and how close you are from your opponents. You have to give them a chance to get away. cannot put them in a position where they can't do anything. On the right above ESG 777 and Visador is going to be Kispy and Taumeister. We still see Release Ed next to Roxy Johnny in the middle of the fleet. It's Junia on his right. I think Hungary are tough to beat, says Alberto. Well, they do have Kispe in front of two of the Germans, so he can do a mark trap up there to Taumeister and ESG 777.
If the Germans cooperate in a proper way, there's a chance for them to take first and second, but they have to battle. And for the Germans, it's enough to keep one of them in the last place. Not forcibly last place, but 7th or 8th place is enough to make the German wins.
Well, we have Kispe over here trying to prevent Taumeister to attack, but that's going to allow ESG 777 to take the lead, and Visador, following him.
Yeah, this is a good way to counterattack what they just tried to explain, and yeah, they sound like compact the whole fleet. Germans had a little advantage with Visador on the fleet. Now they are all together in a bunch of meters, actually.
And it's going to be Roxy Joni taking a penalty from Visador. Visador managing to avoid ESG 777. Luxon is also taking a penalty, I believe, from Kispe. And I see Mick CNS glazing a bit. Roxy Joni and Luxon, old foxes, they should make the difference.
Keep an eye on Taumeister, that is going to take the gust all alone and will be going really fast than the other player. If he jibes right now, he's just taking the gust and has the chance to escape away. I'm just saying this, but I think that Kispe is keeping him marked. Yes, in fact, he went near him and jibed immediately. I can't read this situation, it's kind of tricky to commentate, but downwind is very dynamic and difficult to follow as a spectator, not as a player.
Yeah.
As a player, I would probably know what to do. Yeah, we see that.
Who's in the winning combo right now? I think
Germans.
Yeah, the Germans are. 1-2-7-8 is a losing combo.
1-2-7-8 is a losing combo. Just see the two Germans that are sprinting on the right part of the racing field, and that they are cooperating to take first and second. But I think that
I think here Kispe taking a penalty from Taumeister.
But still giving them an hard time to take first and second. It's a kind of difficult situation for Hungarians because they are Release Edi and Xunia on the left part of the racing field that are stuck in a zone with no wind, actually. While the German players are a little bit more on the right, but still going really faster than the Hungarian players. But I think that the Germans will be 2, 3, and 4 at this mark rounding. I'm pretty sure.
Let's see what happens. They're approaching the mark. The fleet is still very close to each other. Very packed fleet. No player clearly in the lead. Junia taking a penalty from Taumeister, and it's going to be his teammate Visador helping him out by putting a penalty on Taumeister. Again, another penalty from Junia and Taumeister. Roxy Johnny and Luxon are suddenly taking the lead. 2 more penalties, one from Release Ed and one from Taumeister, so pretty even for now. And if the Hungarians want to win, they need to make sure that ESG Peter and Taumeister stay in 7 and 8, because currently Roxy Johnny and Luxon have the 1 and 2 spots.
I saw a beautiful move from ESG 777 that right after rounding the mark, he hoisted down the Jennaker and went through all the Hungarians and used to penalize one of them. and now he's in third. So really beautiful move from the Germans, and now they just have to keep Visitor away from the ESG 777 and make it recover some terrain. So I think that after this they will have first, second, and third pretty easy.
Robbie Wool in the chat, come on Hungary. They were close, but from the looks of it, with this current ranking, it is a win for Germany with a 1-2-4. Again, the losing combo would be 1-2-7-8. So the Hungarians need to somehow catch one of the Germans and push them into 7, as they already have Tallmeister in 8.
Yeah.
Mixiones saying 1-2 Germany at the last mark. Hungary should have done a trap, but they did not. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I agree. The Hungarian had a chance to stop ESG 777, but I saw that Visitor preferred to go on the upwind. I honestly would have stopped to the last reaching mark and stopped ESG 777. Same for the 50. Trying to rescue some terrain during the upwind is really difficult because you have no more chances to recover. Once you are behind in the upwind, you are behind. In fact, I think that in this end racing course is really brutal, the last upwind, because the team in the back has really low chances to recover a really bad position, in my opinion.
Well, they're soon going to cross the finish line. A current 1-2-3 for the Germans, and 8. Hungary are going to have 4, 5, 6, and 7. And Luxon struggling to pass the mark over here. What's happening?
Oh, I just tried to cut the finish line facing the wind, but he almost lost the position.
He almost lost it. I think I remember the Japanese doing something similar last year.
Yes, I remember they lost the match because it was Yuko.
What do you think of this course actually as a sailor and captain of the Italian teams, or the Italian team?
Allora, as I said, it's probably better if you are in a losing position because you have the downwind finish. So even if you are behind, your wind shadow still covers the player in front. But they have to be also in a catchable area. I mean, in a rescuable area, if they are 100 kilometers away from you, there is no chance to recover. But I think that makes the finish of the race more tricky and makes you focus more. Because maybe if you are on an upwind, you can stay more easy. Now we see that there is the start of the Germans, first and second, and we have one of the Hungarian that is keeping control of the whole fleet, actually, Xero. And
Yep.
we have their female, Virag, that managed to escape that kind of ugly situation because it was covered by 2 boats, the Germans. And now we have a right shift coming. Xero keeping the Germans to go on the left, and a chance for the Hungarians to win this race just by keeping this right shift. I hope that they see it and keep it so they can rescue some terrain.
Alakomor in the chat, go Team Germany. Indeed, currently 2-1 for Germany. We're waiting for the Hungarian response. They started very well in the first race. Lost a bit during the previous 2 races. We'll see if they can catch up. As Lorenzo said, with the huge downwind on the M course and with the Star, who has a huge wind shadow, you might be better off being behind. Try to do the attack, unless you prefer defending, of course. And RG Tyler 88, Mighty Lorenzo on the stream. Indeed, Lorenzo has been kind enough to join us for tonight.
good evening, or maybe good morning for you because you are in
Yeah, I
Australia.
think for Tyler it's going to be in the morning or afternoon, but maybe late morning. What time is it at your place, Tyler? And we've seen a penalty here from Zero from Van Zijtig. Paradicus is going to come from starboard. Ooh, early morning for RG Tyler, 6:30 a.m.
It's a morning person. Nice to know that. Nice to know that. Now we have Priaticus and Birag that tries to bring the other German upwind, maybe penalize him. Yes?
Yep, Van Zijtig takes the penalty from Virag, but Virag was a bit stuck on the upwind and Zero could not avoid her. So TTH Virag is going to try to come back on Van Zijtig to blanket him, extend the penalty.
This is not winning, even not even a losing position for both teams. The thing is that the German actually have the first, so they can still have the last of their team in the last position, but
Currently they have a 1-4-5, 2-3-6.
yes, but
For the
consider
Hungarian?
that at the moment it's no more a 3 versus 3, but a 2 versus 3, and
Yep.
the Germans are in danger.
Germans are in danger. They have two behind two of the Hungarians, so they can slow down. But that means that they're just going to increase the gap with Paradicus. So Paradicus is going to have to be careful to see if she needs to come back to help or not.
See how the Hungarians managed to go second and third, and Xero did a really good job. Ooh, penalty for Tom Meister, and
Penalty
also
for Tom Meister and Zero indeed.
So that
But
will
we
be
still have one Hungarian in sixth. So the two Hungarian Visador and TTH Virag need to push either Van Zijtig or Time Meister behind Zero.
I don't know.
Because 10 points, with 10 points you win the race, 11 points you lose it.
Ooh, risky, no. Okay, this was a risky move because if Xero was going to lose a little bit when they both were portboard, Van Zijtig would have taken the penalty. I'm pretty sure about that, but this was very risky move. But made the Germans gain a lot of terrain.
A risky, but it paid out. Virtual Regatta, oh, so that's us. That's Omer. Downwing is going to be tricky. Indeed, we know with the start, it's you have a long downwind over here, so there's plenty of time to try to overtake. Mixian as Germany just need to avoid last piss. Again, no trap at last mark. Well, currently the Germans are doing okay. Van Zijtig is still in control of Zero, but that might change with the downwind coming up. And the Germans are using proper team racing quite well, says Robbie Wool 30.
Yeah, don't underestimate the distance between Van Zijtig and Xero because if you are not 60 meters ahead in the downwind, the person behind still can manage to recover you.
And we have here Visador trying to slow down Taumeister. TTH Virag was waiting at the mark in case she was a bit too far ahead. Taumeister taking the penalty that's going to allow Van Zijtig and Zero to come back closer to the fleet. Meanwhile, Paradicus is not slowing down. You think that's a good move for Paradicus to keep going fast, taking that first place?
Well, I don't know. I would just stay maybe at 2/3 of the downwind and wait there for my team. Maybe
what's happening? She's coming back. She's waiting exactly at 2/3 of the downwind, as if she was listening or heard you at the same time.
No,
and
Spence
201843, thank you for the follow.
Just in case they're in danger, she has to come back and help them. But still not make the Hungarian closing first and third position or second. Leaving the first place is really dangerous actually in this position, and more because you are couple of meters before the finish line.
We'll see what happens here between Taumeister and Visitor. Taumeister actually yielding to Visitor, and that's going to give second and third to the Hungarians. Currently, Cesaro is in fifth, but very close to Van Zijtig,
He's losing position
as
for the Hungarians.
as Paradicus has crossed the start line, the finish line.
Visitor should come back and penalize Van Zijtig. No, I'm joking. Because if he leaves the place, the Germans will have
Very
first.
close finish, but I think Taumeister might have taken third place.
Yes.
So a 1-3 for Germany. That's a winning combo, regardless of where Van Zijtig finishes.
And we have 1-3-5 for the Germans. That is 9 points. And 12 points for Hungary.
Yep.
Because maybe Japanese players are not as good as Zere and Pepito working together, but they're more linear. I mean, if you take all the Japanese players and put them in a line, their ability are more consistent. You find more equilibrated teams, in my opinion.
What did Alberto say?
Una rondine non fa la primavera. Yes, because I'll explain after the start. Now let's focus on the start, Alberto. Please don't bother us, please. Let us focus. So we see
Let's
that
focus on the start, as you're saying. 5v5 in the Ilka. Ilka is going to be a fast boat, so the downwind's much faster than the Star, and it's going to be a lot more reactive.
Ooh.
So we'll see a penalty for Paradicus, penalty for Ger 7, so 2 of the Germans, and penalty, giving maybe a slight edge to the Hungarians for the start, but we still have this big upwind to go to, so it's going to be too early to call anything.
This is anyway a dominant position for the Hungarians because they all have at least one of the Germans marked. Not Taumeister, because Taumeister is one of the lead of the race. But if you see, there is not Visitor, Rasta Tempo all on the right, Visitor all on the left, so both sides are covered by the team. ESG77 was being left alone, so he's free also right now. It was under Kispe, if I'm not wrong. I didn't see the name actually. And ESG77 tried to penalize. No, just go straight to Visitor. Let's tax.
Visitor is going to attack. ESG77 is going to attack right after it. Double attack for Visitor to try to get out of the wind shadow. Grega is also in ESG777's wind shadow. One swallow does not make a summer, but 2 of them definitely do.
Yeah, the thing is that in Italy we have
What's the saying?
a type of bird that comes when the summer hits. No, the spring hits. So if you see one of these birds, it doesn't mean that spring has come. Maybe
Okay,
just that.
I understand what you mean. Yeah. Out of context, I was kind of worried behind the meaning of this.
Yeah, too philosophical. We see that Rasta Tempo might take the inside of the mark to Taumeister if he bears.
We'll see. Rasta Tempo is going slightly faster, 0.4 knots faster than Taumeister, so he's catching up slowly. We'll see if Taumeister is capable of closing the door.
Yeah. Rasta Tempo is just falling down the wind shadow of Taumeister, so yeah, in fact you see that it's just bearing behind and pushing
Taumeister rounds the mark. Rasta Tempo will go a bit wider. And then it's going to be 3 Germans and 3-4-5. Paradicus, Ger 7, just above them, ESG 777. Paradicus going straight to Kispe, penalizing him. That's a good move by the Germans. It's going to allow 4 German boats. inside of the top 6. Well, actually, all 5 German boats inside of the top 6. So it all falls down to Rasta Tempo to try to make a difference.
Yeah, this is just all in the hands of Rasta Tempo for the Hungarians. 1 versus 4. Let's see if our soldier will fight and come out glorious out of this match.
Well, he's likely going to have to wait at the mark.
He has to be really have a conservative approach in this race and make the opponent player lose terrain, but not to lose his position at the same time. Yeah, in fact, I think that the Germans will split after the mark, and it's the
Yeah, they
better.
have to split. They're going to split. Friendly fire behind for Visitor. Paradicus is one of the best women in team racing.
Yeah, we just have Taumeister that keeps bothering Rasta Tempo, so he keeps losing some terrains on the Germans player actually. Not the other way around, it's Lorenzo.
I think you're being compared to Chuck Norris.
ChatGPT. Where is
And Chuck Norris as well. I know Lorenzo is good, but he's not Chuck Norris, says Alberto.
I don't see the comparison, but thanks, Alberto.
Time Master reaching the mark first. Rasta Tempo lost a few places, lost the second and third place to ESG 777 and Jer 7, taking a penalty himself from Paradicus.
The least winning combo for the Germans is first, second, and fifth, but they have first, second, third, fourth, and fifth.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 right now looks like a
Hungarians
for them. They even have fifth.
Van Zeetig just stops there and decides to.
Well, he can definitely do that. He can wait at the mark and just increase the gap that they have for his teammates.
Yeah, he just want to penalize them and gets penalized.
He waited a bit too much, and that's going to allow Keyspan and Rasta Tempo to take the lead, but his teammates are still too far ahead. So, not to worry about too much.
1, 2, 3, 4 is.
That's 10 plus 18 for Germany currently.
Yeah, depends by Van Zeetig
close
finishing position actually. So this is a winning match for Germany that closes in third position actually in the group stage A. Congrats to Germany in advance.
Yep, Van Zeetig still trying to put some penalties, but takes it himself. And well, I guess it's practice right now. It is indeed match point. Well, it was match point for Germany. They take the win, so they're going to be third in Group A. It's going to be 20 points for
20
Germany.
points for Germany.
Strong players on both teams. Dust Boots is one of the top Hungarian sailors. Peterson, you've seen, is likes the F50, and Luxon on Roxy Joni. We've seen them as well a lot for Germany. Yep.
Alberto says that thank God he's not studying engineering. Look, Alberto, that I have my papers right here. So don't underestimate me, please. Please.
I've cut to the race, so they didn't see your papers, but you can show them again.
I think that Alberto. You want to hear the? Yeah, I think that we heard the crunch of the.
Yeah, we heard it. So mixed CNS, it's indeed going to be Japan versus Hungary, France versus Germany, Italy versus Switzerland, and Sweden versus Poland.
3, 2. I don't think that one of the German
A bit of a late start for Luxon, but a good start nonetheless. Das Boot staying on starboard, taking second place. Luxon and Roxy Joni are going to be on port. Peterson has done a false start, is going to have to come back behind the line and start again. So it's going to be on Das Boot to try to slow down at least one of the Germans.
Yeah, I don't think that Peterson is really happy about this move, but we have a hard time to recover, and also Das Boot will have also a hard time to make Peterson recover this position. Also because we have both Germans on the right part of the racing field ready to take a right shift and cross in front of Das Boot. So not the best situation for the Hungarians, but maybe Das Boot managed to recover and manage this position well. Let's see, and takes at rule 13, and yeah, Roxy and Luxon are quite a brutal lineup for this kind of races. I mean,
yeah, they nailed the start. And it's going to be very complicated for the Hungarians. Obviously, it's not the start that Peterson wanted to do. Swedish eSailing, I've increased the volume of the microphone, so let me know if it still needs to be louder or not.
I have the microphone literally 2 centimeters away from my mouth, so I think that I will put closer inside my mouth. Maybe you hear me better right now.
Maybe not like that. No, but I've increased the volume, so.
Sorry. I should be serious. This
it's fine. It's fine. Well, at the moment we're just waiting for Das Boots to be able to come back. We see Peterson all the way on the top of the fleet on the ley line, on starboard over there.
Yeah, there is also another right shift coming, and maybe Peterson still have a chance, but depends if Luxen has the mercy to not cover Peterson or just wants to crash and end this match right here, right now. Because surely Peterson rescued some terrain on Roxy that pushed all on the left and is going to take a bad shift. In fact, we see that Roxy is bearing a little bit, or not. Seems neutral wind, so I think that I read bad the wind.
Yeah, fairly neutral when Luxon was a bit tighter. Don't forget the ley line.
No. Hungarians can still cover the Germans, actually. They are quite far, but it's not impossible yet. So the amazing recover by Peterson. Incredible, my compliments to him, actually. And they still have a chance. But this is the M racing course.
This is M course, yep.
This changes everything because the downwind is really short, so they don't have much time.
They have a long downwind after that, but they need to try to gain some meters over here. Yeah, first try to stay close, and Peterson is doing that with Roxy Joni, putting some wind shadow on him, slowing him down.
This downwind is precious. Is precious for the Hungarians because the next upwind will be crushing for the Hungarians since they are both behind. No, we see that Peterson is a bunch of meters behind. So if he managed to lose few terrains to the Germans, maybe we have another situation like this downwind, same replication, but.
Yep. And Luxon has also slowed down. Unfortunate mark touching by Peterson. Rule 31 is going to be slowed down for 10 seconds before touching the mark. That's going to allow the Germans to add a few extra meters. The Hungarians just need to stay close to be able to try to wind shadow the Germans on that last downwind. It's going to be their last chance. Das Boot is going to split.
Yeah, Das Boot is just worsening his position actually with this really good. Sorry. I mean, it's going to be an important right shift coming down, so Split was a good idea, but not with the wind path that is coming down.
And Peterson is also slowing down by tacking like this.
Yeah, also keep tacking is a continual loss of terrain. I know that he's struggling and being covered by another boat. You're there and saying like, I can't do anything. I just want some free air, and the fleet race mode kicks in, and you just say I tack and go away. But the boat in front follows you, and it's not very productive for the teamwork. No, I think that there is also
now. It looks like it's going to be more meters from the previous downwinds.
also because the gust is coming down is going to be around 25 knots, and
Watch out for the friendly fires here between the Hungarians.
The Germans are not even sailing; are just flying away. How fast are they going? 18.
14 for Roxy Johnny, 15 for Luxon, 14.9.
Yeah, still 2-3 knots faster than the Hungarians. So well done once again, but I hope and I encourage the Hungarians to take revenge on the next race in the 2v2 F50, because if they manage to beat us Italian in the 2v2 F50, I'm sure that they will.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. I forgot that they beat you in the 2v2 F50.
Consider that. Exactly.
Well, what changed a lot as well is with the start that Peterson definitely did not put the Hungarians in a good spot, and they were trying to catch up during the whole race. It would have been a different outcome if
it was the end racing course. If it was the end racing course, surely it would have had a different outcome, probably at the downwind mark.
1 and 2 for the Germans, 3 and 4 for the Hungarians, making it a 5-1 for Germany.
6-1. I think that chat is keen on having a 6-1 this evening for the Germans. Again, same sailors. Yes, Mick.
Yeah, exactly the same sailors as previously.
Probably there's also some strategic in putting the players on the grid, on the lineup during the match. I think that putting Das both in the last 2 matches was not really the best choice for the Hungarians. I would have displayed him in the previous matches. Maybe
so the poll is live. Sorry to cut you off. Poll is live on Twitch. You have 1 minute to put your votes in. I'm not going to put it any longer because after that the race is going to begin. So vote for Hungary or Germany. Who do you think is winning this race in the 2v2 F50? 5 seconds to go for the start procedure. All boats fairly close to each other. Watch out for any penalties or the committee boat. Roxy Joni taking an 11. Schutz Peter is going to be beneath Will Luxon. Will Luxon is going to try to push Das Boots away. Just watch out with Roxy Joni for Peterson. Don't let him fly by.
Watch out for Roxy Joni that can take the inside of the mark and penalize Peterson.
Peterson is going to push Luxon away, going to be able to put the penalty on him and overtake Peterson, taking first place. And who wins this race? Looks like the majority of the people voted for Hungary.
That's good. Yeah, really good job from the Hungarians right now. Peterson did a really good move, bringing Luxon away and also penalizing him. And now they are second and third, and we have to see what Roxy Joni has to show us in this race to make Luxon recover this position. Yeah, I agree with Mick GNS that Das Boot is usually good in 50. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Well, they need to keep their lead. Luxon isn't that far behind. Roxy Johnny still in first place. Currently, if we screenshot this, it's a win for Hungary. The 2-3 beats 1 and 4.
Both Hungarian players decide to tack and take this left shift, leaving Luxen going on the right part of the racing field. Risky, but seeing this move from a fleet race mentality is pretty good. And Roxy, I think that lost some terrain on Das Boot. Actually, yeah, they're closer than the first meters of the upwind. Actually, we just have to see if Roxy will do a mark trap or fighting in the downwind. I would fight in the downwind.
He decides to fight in the downwind. Das Boots following Roxy Joni at the same mark. Shoots Peterson is going to take the other mark. Luxen is going to follow Shoots Peterson. And we are starting the downwind.
Yeah, Luxen is pretty far from... I mean, far, but not enough for the match to be called over for the Germans, actually. We have to see... Probably, I think that the best thing to do here is to round the pin mark, go straight and tack when almost hitting the boundary. Yeah, both Hungarians were really close, almost risked a penalty, but managed to do a perfect mark rounding. Yeah, we have Roxy that is going to cover Das Boot. Luxen tacks. I don't understand this tack, but probably
for the wind pressure. There's slightly more pressure over here where Luxen is.
I would more say that I wanted to take this neutral wind and then bounce back on the right part of the racing field and take the right shift coming down.
And Roxy Johnny is going to mirror Peterson's maneuvers. He's going to keep him in his wind shadow.
Look, Peterson who rescued Roxy. With a dial down, yeah, this is really... Yeah, Das Boot
coming in on Roxy Johnny, putting the penalty on him. That's going to give a 1-2 position for the Hungarians.
Yeah, Peterson served Roxy Johnny to Das Boot on a silver plate. That was the cherry on the top of the
cake.
Of the cake. Sorry.
And yes, move by Hungary. I agree. Swedish eSailing.
I voted Hungary for the win of this race, actually. So I take my credits. Yeah, well done to Hungarians. They did a really good job.
Yep, great last race for them. 1 and 2 for Hungary. The Germans are going to follow with 3 and 4. Meaning that's going to be a 5-2 for the last race, and we're going to go over the groups again. Talk about which team faces who in the knockouts.
Yeah. Let me upgrade
the stream. So yeah, first of all, congratulations to Germany for winning this encounter. They are therefore placing themselves third of the group. Hungary are going to take fourth place. It was a Hungarian win for the first and last race, and between all of these, it was Germany winning back to back to back to back to back. Which means that Group A is going to be first place for Italy with 11 points, second place for Sweden with 10 points, 5 points for Germany in third place, and Hungary in fourth place with 4 points. For Group B, we've seen it already yesterday with the outcome of France versus Switzerland. Japan is taking first place in that group. France will take second place, Poland third place, and Switzerland will take fourth. Meaning that for the knockout stages, the quarterfinals are going to be Italy versus Switzerland, Sweden versus Poland, Japan versus Hungary, and France versus Germany. All of the knockout stages are going to be happening in early January. The first possible schedule will be on the 7th of January, so make sure that you Follow the Twitch channels. Have a look on the Discord and the game to keep updated on the exact match timings when they will be communicated. I think it's time for us to wrap it up. Thank you all for watching so much. Well, thank you so much all for watching us. Thank you, Lorenzo, for being here with us tonight. Really appreciate it, and your insight as the Italian captain and team racer and great player was actually very enlightening for a lot of us. And yeah, this has been Oscar, your host, with Lorenzo. Lorenzo, any last words you'd like to say?
It's been fun commenting this match. Congratulations.
It's been fun commentating this match. And a quick shout out as well to Omer in the background, who was doing the arena instructions and joining the races and all that. So,
we have to wish Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
True this. So there won't be any more streams between now and early January. So Merry Christmas to everyone who's celebrating it, and a Happy New Year as well. Thank you all for watching. This has been Oscar, your host, and Lorenzo, and we'll see you all next year. Bye.